Desiccated.
Rip. Plaster. Paint. Destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
I mean, it's practice. Practice. We're talking about practice, or friendlies, or exhibitions, or whatever. Practice, man. Not the games. Not the games that matter. Not the games that you pour your heart and soul into. Practice, man. We're talking about practice. But do they matter? Are you concerned? Let me tell you this. You only have to win by 1 point. There's no style points on a gold medal. And if you get a gold medal, it doesn't matter. But are you concerned that these friendlies are so close? Good morning, boys and girls. Happy Tuesday. The Olympics start on Friday. Basketball, men's, women's will get going here in Paris next week. And the exhibition season for the U.S. Olympic team has been quite interesting. Opening drive, Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck. How you living?
Oh, what it do?
You all right?
I
What do you think of the U.S. Olympic men's basketball team? The world is caught up, and LeBron James has been saving their bacon. I'm going to tell you this, because I think there's a lot of overreaction. And they may, I think they'll win the gold medal, but there's a lot of good teams in the world. And you start watching all these other teams, whether it's South Sudan or Germany or Serbia or whomever, France. There will be dudes that that dude plays, that guy's Canadian? Holy bleep, the Canadians are pretty good. There's a lot of good teams around. And we talk about this on a regular basis, how the NBA is so international. And you look at the top of the drafts over the last bunch of years, and they are so international. You look at the most valuable player, he is not American. The rookie of the year is not American. And so in the Olympics, you see these guys. Now, are there more Americans in the NBA, the best league in the world? There are. But, JJ, I'm not going to sit here and tell you I'm stunned that they're getting pushed in friendlies. I was surprised by the South Sudan piece. That one really surprised me. You only got to win by one. And evidently LeBron James is pretty dang good in these settings, and they're yielding to LeBron James. He scored the last 11 points. And they did beat Germany yesterday, and 92-88 was the number. They won 101-100 over South Sudan. I think it's good that they're getting some close games instead of just blowout wins going into this tournament, because I always feel if you know how to win, if you've been there before, when there's a close game, you got a better chance. All that said, this isn't a gimme. The world is caught up, and I know people are losing their stinking minds over this, over practice. I'm not, because you just got to win by a point.
The South Sudan one will catch your attention because you're 43-point favorites. That one was easy to point at. You're sleepwalking, and a team of professional athletes got you. The one yesterday, it's just explaining it. Like Germany's the reigning World Cup champs. They're one of the best teams in the world. So that should be a close game. This
Franz
isn't 1992.
Wagner. Yeah.
They're not beating every country by 30 points.
Mo Wagner, Franz Wagner, Dennis Schroeder. I mean, there's a bunch of names in there. To your point, the Dream Team, and when they were beaten, when it was in Angola, and Charles Barkley clowned on the Angolans. There's we might be able to put the talk to rest at some point, or maybe we'll accelerate it. I don't know. Let's see how the next 2 weeks go. That this is the best Olympic team ever assembled, and the Dream Team sitting back there just going, stop it. Magic, Bird, Barkley, Ewing. I mean, all those guys, Jordan. But that argument may run as rampant as Michael versus LeBron, or maybe it won't. I don't know. Is there a ton of pressure on them to win? Yeah, JJ, I would imagine there is. But I'm going to tell you that it's more likely they don't win a gold medal than the women.
Yes. The competition is better on the men's side.
Yes. Yeah.
They've been investing and catching up longer than the women's game has internationally.
Would you want that job? Steve Kerr, you look at that staff, dude. Steve Kerr, Mark Few, Eric Spoelstra, Ty Lue, it's a great coaching staff. I saw somewhere somebody want to tell me why the best coach on that staff is an assistant, and that's Eric Spoelstra. Steve Kerr's the head man, but he's assembled a hell of a staff. I look at this, and I don't want to go into it in terms of if they don't win the gold, would it be an epic fail? Because I think a lot of people would interpret it as such, and I guess I just don't feel it would be as epic a fail as others. It would be like when the Canadians don't win the hockey gold medal, right? In the Olympics.
Like, it's very similar,
right? I mean, the Canadians think it's their game, and then the Russians and the Czechs and whomever have come a long way. Even the Americans. Hell, dude, look around. If you didn't realize there's no gimmies, and I don't know how many of y'all watched that South Sudan game, and I watched way more of that on Sunday than I thought I was going to watch. Saturday, Sunday, whatever the hell it was. Saturday? This weekend. The world's caught up. Now, dude, LeBron's balling. I mean, at almost 40 years old, there is an obvious go-to. We remember we had this conversation a couple weeks ago when Anthony Edwards came out and said, I'm the go-to guy. No, you're not, dude. You're on the floor. They found their go-to guy. He scored their last 11 points. He bailed them out with a layup with 8 seconds to go over the weekend against South Sudan. He scored the final 11, including, how do you leave that dude wide open for that three, by the way? I watched that play about 6 times and watched the rotation from the Germans. And I understand that they got caught and they were catching up after pick and rolls, but you're leaving that dude wide open. LeBron James wide open for a three, which he splashed and he closed the game, and there's your dude. By the way, he went 8 for 11, had 6 rebounds and 4 assists.
Yeah, LeBron James is still on another level, being 39 years old, and Anthony Edwards can have all the confidence in the world, and he could be that next guy in 4 years. But right now, he is still behind LeBron James in the pecking order of guys that you're going to in the clutch.
It's all the greatness on the court. I mean, he still looks like the best player on the floor, doesn't he?
And this was a good exhibition game because Germany is a team that they won the World Cup last time out. They are always looking to prove a point, and this was one that you saw them playing, and they weren't coasting, especially when it got late in that fourth quarter, both teams going at it. And that's why I'm very excited for the men's basketball in the Olympics.
All right, got a lot to do today, and I'm kind of curious as we get set. Are you looking forward to the Olympics? Is it on your radar, or is it going to just hit you on Friday? Go, oh, look, they're sailing down the Seine. And the opening ceremonies are not in a stadium; it's on a river. And well, because I am looking forward to seeing that. I want to know how that works. It's always been the same way, marching into the stadium and country by country and looking what they're wearing and who's the flag bearer and how big is that team's Olympic team and where is that team? Oh yeah, that's where they are on the globe. And I'm interested to see that. Is the Olympics something you're kind of fired up for over the next 2 weeks?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
More so the hoops, or do you like the track and field? Do you like the wrestling? Do you like the boxing?
Everything.
What do you? Okay.
It's one of those that it's an Olympic year.
Yeah.
I'm an Olympic fan.
Okay. I kind of dig that. I wish I could say the same, and I can't. I used to be that way. I used to love it. And maybe I will find myself over the next 2 weeks getting more and more into it. Will I watch more baseball, or will I watch more gymnastics? Am I going to watch synchronized swimming, or am I going to watch the Rockies and Red Sox, which, by the way, last night was a hell of a watch. Did you watch Rockies Red Sox last night?
Extra innings.
It was really good. How about your boy Sam Hilliard? Former Isotope. 2-run bomb in the 10th to tie it up, and then a big hit in the 11th. Or the 12th. In the 12th. That was, I mean, I understand where they are in the standings. Every time I watch them, it's probably once a week, maybe once every 10 days. I'm like, all right, well, let's the Rockies are on. That's kind of a good game. They entertain me every time. I don't know why. And Drew Goodman's so good. By the way, their broadcast team is really, really good. Anyway, if you're into, I'm kind of wondering where you are. Are you into the Olympics? Are you excited? And if so, what is it you're looking forward to? And if not, is it just because whatever, I don't care? You know what? you weren't here last week, I don't think, when we had the conversation, JJ, about the ESPN list that came out, the most, I don't remember how they phrased it. Was it the best or most influential athletes of this century? ESPN, Michael Phelps was number one. What'd you think of him being number one, by the way? Serena was 2. LeBron was like 8.
Do you think it's a credit to just athletics and athletes, and still the feats in the Olympics are still ridiculously impressive, especially in this world where we're just so hyper focused on the NFL and NBA and the trickle down from there?
I thought he should be up there, but I couldn't put him number one because I think for most of us in your consciousness, swimming shows up once every 4 years. And I understand that they're doing it every year. I understand that there's world championships every year, but how much are you watching? And so how great, and it was the top athletes, and I get it, his accomplishments. But I would have put Serena on top of him, maybe even Messi, and maybe even Tom Brady. 505-246-0610. That's phone numbers to get in today. Area code 505-246-0610. Emails this morning, Jeff, at sportsanimalabq.com. Coming up at 8:30 this morning, we're going to hear from Spencer Danielson. Who's Spencer Danielson? Spencer Danielson is the closer for the Twins, the head coach of the Boise State Broncos football team, the lead swimmer for USA on their men's Olympic swimming team, or the backup goaltender for New Mexico United. I know you know who he is. He's B, the head coach of the Boise State Broncos. Young man, JJ, fascinating. So he's the head coach of I don't know, one of the top brands in certainly in college football, certainly Group of 5 football. You know how many places he's coached? Like you look at these guys, you look at their resume, right? Do you know how many places he's coached in his full career? Like, take a guess. How many stops do you have?
This is 11.
2.
2?
2.
How does that happen?
Exactly. And he's going to tell you that. He coached at Azusa Pacific where he played. And he's been at Boise State for 8 years. Now he's the head coach at Boise State. How did he get the job? He's a pretty fascinating dude. And they are the favorites to win the Mountain West. So we'll hear from him coming up at 8:30. Dan, never mind. I just would hit the button and he'd be gone. All right, when we come back, we got a ton of footy to talk about. What's going on in camps as they open up. The latest on Aaron Rodgers. The Bengals trying to sign Jamar Chase. Brandon Ayuk's deal. Sam Darnold may be taking more snaps than J.J. McCarthy. Got a lot to do today. 505-246-0610. We're on the Facebook as well. The OD and the AM. Adrian's producing your TV side, where you can watch us on Xfinity, Comcast Channel 26, on our Facebook page, and on the YouTube channel for ProView Networks. Glad you're with us. The big NFL stuff, including when will Jamar Chase get paid by Cincinnati? It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
What's going on? Who are you guys?
Well, sir, I'm going to pick you up at the DWI checkpoint for drunk driving.
And that's when I have to come down to get you out of jail.
Well, temporarily. I'm Judge Torres.
They call him the Hammer. Hey, hot off the presses, champ.
I'm real proud of you, honey.
Way to make him happy back home, Captain.
Who's that?
That's your new buddy in jail.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This is was my family. Drunk driver hit us, and my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman!
This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh? I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom. Sweet? Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight. Boom. Boom.
These days, it's important to know people and businesses you can trust. There's a lot of places where you can buy a vehicle, but there's only a few local dealerships where you'll find honest people who have your best interests in mind. And Fiesta Kia is one of them. We've been helping our neighbors save money and drive dependable cars for years, and we'd love to help you. With new Kias arriving daily, you'll love our selection and the peace of mind you'll get driving a Kia from Fiesta. So stop by and see us today at Fiesta Kia on Lomas, or just start driving now at fiestakia.com.
Burglary takes place in the United States approximately every 15 seconds. International Protective Service is your answer for commercial and residential security in all of Albuquerque. IPS will work with your monitoring company for fast, reliable response times. You can rest easy knowing you, your family, or your company is watched over by International Protective Service. Call International Protective Service today.
Now, this time of year is the perfect time to call On the Spot Automotive Detailing. Actually, I can't think of a bad time to call On the Spot Automotive Detailing. Have them come out and detail your vehicle, but you got road trips and all the activities and probably dragging some mud in with the monsoons. Your car probably needs it. I love it. Flat out love it when On the Spot Automotive Detailing comes out to my office and details my vehicle. And yeah, they come to you, not just me, because who the hell am I? But they'll come to you wherever it is and whenever it is convenient. They'll detail your car inside and outside, around the rims, under the hood, under the seats, everywhere. Your car looks, feels, smells brand new when they're done. There's a reason they were awarded best in the city. You know what it is? Because they're the best in the city. And if you're thinking about window tint service, because driving around without window tinting is brutal right about now, they are a certified 3M dealer. That means they have the best product on the market. And you can ask them for ceramic tint that blocks 99% of UV and infrared rays, keeps your car looking cool, keeps your car feeling cool. You get the professional tint you need with On the Spot Automotive Detailing. Go online, it's otsdetailing.com, or give them a call at 505-859-2859. That's 505-859-2859. On the Spot Automotive Detailing. All right, lots going on today. The media days today for Conference USA. Tony Sanchez will go at 10:35 our time, JJ. And you can get on there's a Zoom link for you, and you can hit all that. But they're in Texas, and they're doing Conference USA. So we'll hear from Tony later this week. Looking forward to hearing from Spencer Danielson, the Boise State head coach. That's going to be an 8:30 conversation I had with him in Vegas. I think you're going to like him. JJ, the person who was giving out the credentials, whom you know, based here in Albuquerque, but that person was working the desk at Media Day, said, I was so embarrassed. I didn't know who he was. I thought he just looks so young. And I'm like, okay, can I see your ID, sir? Who are you? And what do you do with Boise State? And then that person said, oh my goodness, I was so embarrassed. You're the head coach, aren't you? He does look very young. He's been at Boise State for 8 years, and like I said, played at Azusa Pacific, but kind of won that job last year when they made the change late in the season, and he went on that run and won a league championship and won a bowl game.
Yeah, what he was able to do was fantastic last year, and it was a natural transition for him to stay as head coach of Boise State and handle all those expectations for that program and that fan base. And it's why, once again, look at Boise State and people believe they're the favorites in the Mountain West Conference.
He had the opportunity to go with Brian Harsin to Auburn, and his wife was having a baby right about then, like within days, and he passed up on that opportunity. And he said, I wondered about that. I wondered if I did the wrong thing. And he's certainly a man of faith and guy who believes that things happen for a reason. And so you'll enjoy that. That's coming up at 8:30 this morning, as Boise State is the favorite, according to the media poll, to win the Mountain West Conference. All right, camps are opening around the National Football League. The Jets' Hassan Reddick is not reporting to camp. This came out this morning, just a short time ago. Rich Samini of ESPN reported it. He has not got a new contract. He's been seeking a new contract, and so defensive end Hassan Reddick, who's in the final year of his contract and going to make, or at least scheduled to make, $14.5 million this season. He'll be fined a mandatory $50,000 per day, according to the collective bargaining agreement. And that fine cannot be waived. That's something they got to pay. So what he's banking on is, all right, I'm making 14.5 now. They're going to give me 22. That'll pay for my fines, and hopefully we get it done pretty quickly. That's the difference between a holdout and a hold in. Jordan Love of the Packers is holding in. He is there. He's got a contract. He is at workouts. He is not participating in drills, but he's in the classroom. He's in meetings. He's holding in, so he is not being fined, right? That's the difference between the holdout and the hold in.
Yeah.
I mean, literally. And you sometimes wonder why you wouldn't, if you're Hassan Reddick, it's going to cost me $50,000 a day, dude. I mean, I don't know. That's $350,000 a week. I'm thinking I might hold in instead of hold out. But that's the latest. All right. We talked about a lot of different receivers and breaking the market. And Ja'Marr Chase is kind of, well, not kind of, he's one of those names. So he is considered at the very, very top when we're talking about receivers in the National Football League. Who's the best receiver in the National Football League right now?
I think you could have a spirited debate.
Yep, I think that's right.
With CeeDee Lamb, Justin Jefferson, Ja'Marr Chase.
Devontae Adams still in
Tyreek Hill.
is Devontae Adams still in the conversation?
He would be 5.
Okay. All right. Chase did not participate in the voluntary offseason program. I showed up for the mandatory minicamp, but he didn't go through drills. That was a hold in. Their president, the Bengals president, Mike Brown, said yesterday that the Bengals will, quote, bend over backwards, end quote, to sign Ja'Marr Chase. But he said it's not going to be anytime soon. Quote, it's not so likely that this is a good time to negotiate. The offseason is a better time for that, and we're going to try to keep focus on the football part. I'm not going to rule anything out, but I will tell you that the die has probably been cast, end quote. So basically saying, yeah, we'll pay him, but kind of that door's closed. We'll pay him next offseason. Now, Justin Jefferson signed a 4-year, $140 million contract, $110 million in guaranteed. They're expecting something along those lines. If that's the stance, you're going to have a really interesting standoff here, aren't you?
These ones don't make sense to me. I understand that teams want to hang on as long as you can to a rookie contract, especially when you're Cincinnati and you're paying T. Higgins $20 million just for this season, knowing you're not extending him after this year. He's going to hit free agency, the contract you just gave Joe Burrow. But there's certain players on a roster you know that you're going to sign. And this player is going to be on your roster for an extended period of time. And Ja'Marr Chase and CeeDee Lamb fall into that category of you can sit there and talk about not signing them. All it's doing is getting more expensive. There's no way either of these guys, barring some dramatic career-changing injury, get any cheaper. So what value is there in waiting? There's none.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the strategy is either. Right? You're holding on. You think you're going to get one more year on the rookie contract. You're probably not. Oh, maybe they will. Oh, maybe they will. Right? I mean, if
and that doesn't save you any money on the next deal, because all of a sudden
it gets more expensive next
he
year.
goes off. Yeah. Contracts are always going up, and these are guys that are in the elite territory where you don't need to haggle over. Yeah. This is not Brandon Ayuk stuff, where it's like, all right, you're good, but are you $35 million per year good? No, probably not. These guys are.
Yeah.
And it's just going to be 37, 38, 39. You continue to play the way they do.
His quarterback, Joe Burrow, has been fully cleared for contact. There was never really a regular training camp, right? I mean, look, he came in 2020. That was COVID. Then he was recovering from the ACL tear in 21. In 22, he had his appendix removed. Last year, he had the calf injury. As good as Joe Burrow's been, he's never had a normal, healthy, go into the season regular football minicamp. And I know we got Joe Burrow in that next shelf because he went to a Super Bowl early and we've seen everything. Is it a big year for him? A, to stay healthy, and B, to get him back to the playoffs? It feels that way to me. I mean, he's gotten paid.
But these are certain guys that you can say that, but nothing's going to happen.
Right. And that's probably right. See, he's gotten paid, so he's their guy for the next 4 years.
And when he's on the field, he is the second best quarterback in the NFL.
You think he's better than Josh Allen?
Yes.
Okay, I'm not. I might argue with you on that, but okay. He's been to a Super Bowl and Josh Allen's not. Yeah.
Again, if you're going to say what is the deciding factor in that, whether or not it's you can blame it all on Josh Allen, and you can't. I've seen Joe Burrow get past that guy.
Yeah, I would give Josh Allen, if I'm going to make the argument, I'd give him two things. Availability. He has not been hurt as often as Joe Burrow, and B, his mobility, right? He's incredibly mobile. Now, is Joe Burrow better in the pocket? I'll give you that. Yeah, I'll give you that. Has Joe Burrow gotten further? Yeah, he has. I look at the Josh Allen thing, man, and the bottom line is the bottom line. So there is no argument. He has not gotten past Mahomes. He hasn't won. But I look at what he's done in those moments. I look at the 13-second game, and I mean, every other time that's ever happened in history, that is a victory. Every other quarterback who's done what he did, that's amazing. And then I look at last year, and he drove him down the field, and the guy missed a field goal.
So it's one where to me it's not. I don't feel it's a hot take, or I'm really not going to go, oh, that's terrible. Josh Allen, because of availability, because of play, is right there.
Yeah,
like I think he proved it. Maybe the last year or two, it was Joe Burrow's on the field. He's that next guy, and now Allen is right there. And I think really those three. But I think Mahomes is in a
no doubt. No, nobody's arguing.
But Joe Burrow, Josh Allen are the guys that going, all right, if you need someone to compete against that dude, I'm picking one of those
guys. The
guys.
Josh Allen argument, it gets so intense and people get so fired up about this one and more so on the anti-Josh Allen side because, well, he hasn't won. Bottom line, he has, and you're right. Like 100% you're right. He's hasn't got to the Super Bowl like Joe Burrow has. He hasn't won Super Bowls like Patrick Mahomes. You're right. And then you break it down and go, man, this is the ultimate team game. What that guy did on the road in Kansas City to score with 13 seconds left, and then the fact that they kicked it away, the fact that, I mean, all the things that went into it that let Patrick Mahomes go down the field in 13 seconds, which, to your point, puts Patrick Mahomes on a different shelf.
But and I've also watched Joe Burrow go into Buffalo.
Yep.
And beat Josh Allen.
No, that's right. That's right. And in this sense, Josh Allen would have gone into Kansas City and beaten Mahomes, but he didn't because the defense couldn't hold. I watched what happened last year. I watched him come down the field again at the end of a game, and the kicker missed a field goal. But I get it. I mean, this one's passionate though, and I think that those two are going to be rivals. Mahomes is the guy, but who's the next guy, and who might win one or two when he can't, and whether it's Burrow, and then. I mean, you can put Lamar in that conversation because his coach says he's going to be the best quarterback in the history of the NFL.
That soundbite is going to linger
forever, right?
Like LeBron saying not
three,
one,
not four.
And it's a dude that was just passionate for his quarterback, trying to make a stance, but it is not going to age well.
No. Did he need to do that?
I don't think he needed to add the greatest ever part.
Did he need to defend his quarterback?
I think it was a double.
Edge
I don't want to
sword?
say whammy, but I think he was coming out going like, "This dude's good. Like, give us time." There's only, I think it was yesterday I was listening to stat. There's only one like quarterback under 35 that's won a Super Bowl in the league. His name's Patrick Mahomes. And so we're going to sit here and act like Lamar Jackson doesn't have another 8 to 10 years in his career, or Josh Allen or Joe Burrow, and try to make these statements like these guys aren't going to keep you competitive over the next however long.
That's an insane stat. I would say that again. There's only one quarterback under 35 active in the league who's won a Super Bowl. Nick Foles out of the league?
Yeah. He might not be under 35.
So how many other quarterbacks are still active in the league
that's the
who've won a Super Bowl?
Oh, you got Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers,
Stafford,
Joe Flacco.
Is Joe Flacco still in the league? Is he signed anywhere?
He's back up in Indianapolis.
All right, so Flacco, Stafford, Wilson, and who's the first one you said?
Rodgers.
Oh, yeah, Rodgers. Wow, so 40, 30-something, 106, 39. That's insane. Is there anybody else left? I mean, Brady's gone. I'm trying to think who the last bunch of Super Bowls. Nobody from Pittsburgh's won. That's crazy, in all honesty.
Stafford, Brady, Mahomes recently.
So it's Stafford, Rodgers, Wilson, and Flacco are the only other quarterbacks left in the league who have won a Super Bowl besides Patrick Mahomes?
Yes.
Period.
Yeah. And so this is when we get into these conversations.
Smokes.
And I think Harbaugh was backing up his quarterback, going like, are we just going to jump off of every one of these guys? They don't win a Super Bowl? No. But he was also putting, I think, some pressure and laying down, all right, things need to change in the postseason. And Lamar Jackson has to be better, because that's the difference why Lamar Jackson isn't in that conversation with Josh Allen and Joe Burrow, is we don't even have a Lamar Jackson game to go back to and say, what if?
That's it, man. I mean, then you're right on the Lamar Jackson thing. You're right. You're right. Chiefs. So it was Mahomes, Stafford, Brady, Mahomes, Brady, Nick Foles, Brady, Peyton Manning, Brady, Russell Wilson, Joe Flacco, Eli Manning, Aaron Rodgers, Drew Brees, Ben Roethlisberger, Eli Manning, Peyton Manning, Ben Roethlisberger, Tom Brady. Wow. It's staggering that there's only, was it 5 guys in the league active who have won a Super Bowl quarterback, and only one of them's under 35 years old. That's how hard it is to do it, and how dominant that Brady dude was. All right, that's bonkers. 505-246-0610. Come on in. The latest on Brandon Ayuk, and there was I heard a rumor this morning that actually interested me. Raider fan, listen up. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Try this shit better than all my intentions. Locked in shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area.
Dude, I mean, I think it's pretty easy. Fantasy football, catch JJ's podcast. What's it called?
Three Dudes Fantasy Football Show. Follow us on YouTube, dropping episodes. Just recorded a mock draft episode last week. It's live now.
Yeah. Who's your top pick?
So it was a lot of fun. So each of us drafted from a different spot, did a 10-team PPR league. So one of us drafted from 1, 5, and 10. So you can kind of get it.
Who's number 5?
So number 5, I was number 5 in the draft. And Amon-Ra St. Brown was my first pick in the first round.
Okay.
I went kind of 0 running back, went 3 wide receivers off the board first.
So what do? You go no running back. You go all wide receivers. What are you doing for running back?
RVT value is really good this year.
I mean, you've got it. You load up 2 every week.
Well, how it played out in the strategy I went with, my 4th round pick was Kyron Williams, running back from the Rams.
Dude, how'd you get him in 4th round?
That's the way PPR leagues are going.
Right.
People aren't drafting running backs that high.
Okay.
And like you're going to see Saquon Barkley, Derrick Henry going 2nd round. People are going to grab Bijan or Jahmyr Gibbs in the 1st round. But there's going to be talent, even if you want to go wide receiver early in a PPR league, which you should get a bite of that elite apple. And then, like, you go down in 7th, 8th round, you still have, like, James Conner sitting there. And so you can load up your wide receivers, get 2 good running backs. I like the depth of taking the RB2 players later in the draft, especially if you go wide receiver early.
I guess because so many teams are going running back by committee.
But it's one of the things that this episode was really good for, if you're just a fantasy, football fan, is how much your strategy changes based on what you draft. It's one thing to think, I'm going to go in there and just draft a bunch of wide receivers. But what we realized that drafting from number 10, you actually want to go running back a little bit earlier because those RB2 values are gone by the time it comes back in the later rounds.
Interesting. All right. I just gave you my list. I think I got to figure it out. All right. Listening to, I was walking down the hall this morning, big K-Dog, big Niner fan. Well, what do you think, man? What do you think of Brandon Ayuk? I said, I'm over it. Like, I'm tired of it. And he says, well, I'm hearing rumors. And I said, I've been hearing a lot too. One I heard yesterday, and he was pretty fired up about, Ayuk may be going to the Raiders for Devontae Adams. And I'm like, all right, I think you win if you're a Niner fan, don't you? If that happened?
Yes.
Now, I don't know.
I don't like that move from the Raiders.
I don't either.
Standpoint.
I don't either. How do you think that thing settles? He's been the noisiest receiver all offseason, has he not? And he's not the best. He's good. I'm not going to downplay how good Brandon Ayuk is. He's good. But he's not a dude that, well, if he's not there, that team falls apart.
No, they don't fall apart. San Francisco understands how much better offensively they are, which is why they're holding their ground, saying we don't want to move you. There's a track record of them paying their players for their performance, just kind of where they are right now. I get why San Francisco is trying to push through this. This, to me, is different than having the Jamar Chase, CeeDee Lamb conversation where that's a given. Like that price tag is only going to get higher. You think Brandon Ayuk, even if he has another year where he's top 10 in receiving, it doesn't necessarily mean that his price tag isn't going to be approaching $30 million in this. But this one I do is interesting. It's from a talking head standpoint, like you're done with it. You're like, whatever. But Fred Warner, the 49ers linebacker, was talking about this yesterday. And he's like, this is just part of the business. If you have good players on your team, this stuff's going to happen.
Yep.
And it has like zero impact on that roster. George Kittle came out a couple weeks ago saying, yeah, he's all in with Brandon Ayuk.
Yeah, go get yours.
When he comes back, we're fine. Fred Warner said the same thing. So I do think that's the interesting dynamic of these guys understand the business. It's part of the game that they play. It's part of how they live their life. And then you have everyone else like, oh, the noise and it's done with it.
Yeah,
49ers are like, yeah, we're good. We know we have a lot of good players,
but I don't have to ride with that. I mean, I'm like, okay, it's back and forth. Well, I'm all in. No, I want to get traded. No, I'm all in. No, whatever, dude. You're good. You're just not that dude, to me. But I get it, and it's the same thing that the Packers are saying in regards to Jordan Love. Man, dude's got to get paid. He's here every day. He's working his butt off, and we're all behind him. And we know that when he's back out at drills, he's going to be great, and we're fine with it. Yeah, most of these guys understand it inside the locker room. Who's the Vikings quarterback going to be opening day? They drafted J.J. McCarthy. They have Sam Darnold. McCarthy reported to Vikings camp yesterday with the rest of the rookies. And their head coach is Kevin O'Connell. Quote, I have no preconceived preset depth chart in my mind beyond Sam is the number one quarterback. He's taken the most reps with the starters. Sam had a great spring. JJ came in here after being drafted, had a really productive spring as well. Really, my message to those guys is I really want a competitive situation, end quote. So everything is leaning towards Sam Darnold getting the opportunity to be the starter in Minnesota. And I told you, I think they're a little sneaky good. But it totally depends on quarterback play.
Can Sam Darnold be anything people expect him to be that he's never been in?
And that's okay. Here's why I believe it. Everybody keeps telling me how great he is. And when he went through the Niners, oh, he's great. Everywhere he keeps getting jobs, he keeps getting these opportunities, but he doesn't play. And I don't think he was horrible with the Jets. I thought he was in a horrible situation. Now, he was not good with the Panthers. He's in his 7th year, dude. 7th year, and he was the number 3 pick in 2018. He's got a 1-year deal with the Vikings for $10 million. Hope to resurrect his career. And then they went out and said, yeah, well, that's great and all, but we're going to move up and get J.J. McCarthy. So Darnold's going to get every opportunity to chase that next contract. This is an interesting one there. I'm going to tell you, I think Darnold's the starter for the first month, and then it's JJ's.
I could see that. But it does sound like Minnesota is comfortable with the long game as long as Sam Darnold is playing well enough.
Yeah,
like,
well,
this was a
to
process.
keep us competitive, right?
Yeah, and hearing kind of the stories coming out of Minnesota, like they wanted this to be Kirk Cousins. They wanted Kirk Cousins to be the quarterback and then bring someone in.
That's right, but it's not.
And then Kirk was like, nope, I'm not going to do that. And then he ends up in the same exact situation in Atlanta. And so with Sam Darnold, this is the best opportunity he's had in his career. To go into a team that doesn't have a coaching problem, that has offensive talent around him, to just show that he's worthy of being the guy that continues to get these opportunities.
Yeah. All right, you got a bunch of emails coming in. I'll get to them when we get back. 505-246-0610. We're going to hear from Spencer Danielson, the head coach of the Mountain West Conference preseason favorites and the defending champs, Boise State, at 8:30 on the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Sweet Rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, ripped, plastered, taint, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, rip, plaster, paint, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
All right, you're hitting us at Jeff at sportsanimalabq.com, JJ at sportsanimalabq.com. Total random thoughts, but it's kind of the way this works. Jack says Secret Service equals Lobo fans, JJ. Jeff, it doesn't just happen here. The latest reports are the agents weren't in the proper spots because it was too hot. You can have an August 24th game, and it's going to be 2 o'clock, and you can tell me how hot it is. It's too hot, too cold, too early, too late, too Saturday, too whatever. I get it. Go out and have fun with it, man. You're out for Labor Day. It's an early start. You're going to get Lobo football a month from tomorrow. 1 month from tomorrow. And I mean, I don't know. Like I said, I'm not going to tell you what to do. If you enjoy that kind of stuff, go out and do it. I think it'll be fun. If you enjoy hanging out with people you like and having a couple pops with your friends and it should be fun. You know, I'm interested, JJ. I'm really, really interested to see what this Lobo football team looks like. Broncos got this kind of quiet confidence about him. It was interesting to watch the whole media day thing go down. Because there was this intrigue amongst the Mountain West media about Bronco Mendenhall. And you've been there enough times. You know how the media in this league kind of treats Lobo football. And there's a certain media group that feels that they're better than everybody else. But it was interesting to watch and the reaction to how to what Bronco was saying. And again, I don't know. He was on with us 2 weeks ago. And I remember saying to him, been doing this a long time, man. This is my 28th or 29th football season. I just have no idea. And his response was, I don't either. 60 new dudes. But aren't you? I'm intrigued. JT, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. What's up, JT?
It's been forever, guys.
Yeah, good to hear you. Yeah, you all right?
Just traveling the road, and you opened the show, Jeff, with a topic that hit me. So LeBron James,
yeah,
you know who that is, right?
Yeah, I heard of him.
Okay. As a lifelong Laker fan, I didn't want him to resign with us. I just wanted him to go back to Cleveland, and so we could just start over, okay? Because this is the reason, okay? I'm old school, so he's too nice for me, okay? He's one of the best, but he's too nice for me. So now that they're in the Olympics, and it kind of means something. This is the guy that the team is going to, right?
Right.
This is the LeBron James that we need to play for the Lakers.
Interesting.
I'm tired of him being too nice, deferring to Anthony Davis and everybody else. So what I want him to do, because they're going to rely on him, nobody can stop LeBron James. when he wants to score. I don't care who it is. He's a young 39. He's still great. But what I want him to do this year and next year for his next 2 years is get mean like Kobe and Mike. Okay? When he's like that, we're gonna win a championship in the next 2 years.
It's interesting.
But I want him to get, to act like this when the season starts.
Just give me the damn ball.
Because nobody can stop LeBron James when he wants to go to the hole. I don't care who it is. So that's who I'm asking him to get mad, get mean, and get lean, and stop deferring, during the season. Because I'm tired of finishing in the play-in game and then crap, and then having to, defer to everybody. And no, we need to win in the next 2 years. So sorry if I'm ranting.
No, you're good, man. And don't be a stranger, JT. That's interesting. Have you heard that? He's too nice. I'm not sure I had. It's an interesting take from a Laker fan, though. 505-246-0610. We'll hear from Boise State's head coach, Spencer Danielson. That'll be at 9 o'clock this morning. Glad you're with us. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman! Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Boom! Boom!
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Spell, get ready!
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here. And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay. We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field. 505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space. And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. your baby, I give you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
Germany in a friendly and an Olympic tune-up yesterday in London. Final friendly before they play for real at the Olympics. Opening drive, Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck. Happy Tuesday. Glad you're with us today. We're going to hear from Boise State's head coach for football, Spencer Danielson. That's coming up at 8:30 this morning. Of course, the Broncos were the preseason pick to win the Mountain West Conference. Conference USA Media Days are going on today. And we'll hear from Tony Sanchez, the Aggie coach, later this week. 505-246-0610 is how to get here. That's the Sports Animals phone line and our text line. Emails at jeff@sportsanimalabq.com. jj@sportsanimalabq.com. We are on the Facebook, the OD in the AM. You can watch the show. Adrian's producing there, the OD in the AM. We're also on Xfinity or Comcast Channel 26 throughout the state of New Mexico, and the YouTube channel for ProView Networks. JJ, what'd you think of that? So, Laker fan JT said, I'm tired of seeing LeBron defer to AD. Nobody can stop the dude. He's the best player in the world still at 40 years old. And if he plays like that, Lakers will win a championship. He's too unselfish and too nice.
I would buy that argument 7 years ago.
Okay.
And if you're not getting Anthony Davis involved, then LeBron James isn't doing his job. I would have to pick through the final plays of the close games and see where LeBron hasn't been orchestrating the offense the last 2 years against the Denver Nuggets. LeBron James, 38-39, as good as he's playing, he's not the dude that can beat the Denver Nuggets by himself. Because guess who's on that floor for Team USA with him? Superstars. So it's one thing driving to the basket against South Sudan, getting through against Germany, but just saying, oh, LeBron James has to go out there and take 30 shots, 38-39, he's still not beating the Nuggets by himself. He's not that dude.
Yeah. And he's in a groove right now, and day in and day out, he's not going to be that dude. I agree with that.
Like, he last year was unbelievable with what he did. But I don't buy the argument that he's not aggressive enough. Like, if this was LeBron 7 years ago, the dude that was taking the Cavaliers in that run to the NBA Finals and competing with the Warriors, yeah. But I think LeBron hasn't. Watching LeBron play, I don't think he's done anything wrong. Trying to maximize who he is right now.
Mike's in on the Olympics. It says USA Basketball, Jeff Alou. Olympics isn't what it used to be. It's no longer guys who grew up in their backyard in Cambodia playing with coconuts because they couldn't afford a basketball. Now everyone has mercenaries. Everyone has NIL. Probably every dude has played at 15 different programs and grew up playing in big dollar private sports academy. That's right. No, you're right. I mean, maybe a little exaggeration, but maybe not. You're right. And so that's why you're winning by 4 points. And they may get beat in London. They may lose a game. I know people lose their mind. There's some good teams out there. Bruce is in on Lobo football. Can't believe I'm saying this, Jeff, but Montana State is a must. If Lobo football doesn't beat the Bobcats, where are those 1.5 wins in Vegas coming from? Maybe New Mexico State at Dirty Jerry Stadium? It's from Bruce. The number in Vegas was pushed up to 2.5. That 1.5, man, you should have got that early. If you were going to get it, you need to get that early. It was 1.5. Or I'm sorry, 2.5. All right, this was in just this morning. So is it 2 years now that the NFL has played a 17-game schedule? They went up from 16. It's been 2 years now. According to the Washington Post, the NFL Players Association and the league are having discussions at what is being called a very high level over adding an 18th regular game to the schedule. Lloyd Howell is the NFL Players Association executive director. And he told the Post that talks between the NFLPA and the league haven't reached formal negotiations, but he admits that the plans to discuss the issue with the players in the near future, quote from him in the Washington Post this morning, we have talked at a very, very, very high level, superficially, with a recognition about, this is something that we should be talking about, and we should really kick the tires and understand what else goes into this decision-making process. Where does the 18th game come from? I think the foregone conclusion is, you just grab it, like in what would otherwise be preseason games in August, you play it forward. But these are details that really need to be fleshed out. But again, there are other economic, health, and safety matters that also need to be clear to our members before there's ever an agreement about an 18th game, end quote. So it sounds like they're going there. Roger Goodell's favored an 18-game season. And JJ, that just means, look, these $55 million quarterbacks are going to be $65 million quarterbacks. And you're going to have to get used to it.
Yeah, 18's coming. The league is always striving for more revenue, especially with the uncertainty surrounding if they're going to have these massive payouts, then adding more revenue opportunities, which is regular season football games, make sense. And players will wrap their mind around it. You look at their contracts, if they go up, and I think it would also make sense. An NFL season, you're playing 18 games, have 2 bye weeks. You can find a schedule that works, and that's where it's going.
The current collective bargaining agreement expires after the 2030 season. This is the 2024 season, but the NFLPA has said they'd be open to adding that 18th game before that term ends. The CBA mandates that any change to the length of the season would need to be collectively bargained, obviously. Quote again from the NFLPA's executive director, the simple fact of the matter is when you have a growing enterprise and there are opportunities within that intervening period of time where progress could be made and you could tweak the existing CBA legal document, why wouldn't you want to do that? So whether it's field surface, whether it's the offseason schedule, if you want to call that formal negotiations, I call it bargaining, I call it amendments, I call it updates to what is now a living document called CBA. Yeah, I want to be able to have our membership in a position to jump on it when we can, not wait until their playing days are done and it's like you go through the cycle all over again. It's interesting. So the players seem to be, at least from the players' rep, for this 18th game. And I got to believe they see more money, right? Another game is more revenue. The salary cap goes up, and there's what's the size? Is it $254 million per team right now? Is that what it is? Something along those lines, right? So it probably goes up to $300 million, to $280. I don't know what another game's worth. Let me just say, if it's $254 million, I'll try to do the math real quick for you. Divided by 17, so you would add another 15 million to it at the current rate. So it's 270 million. I mean, another 15 million, 16 million to the salary cap. Everybody's getting more money, dude. Now, I don't know if you add another player. Maybe that's what, would you add another roster spot or two? You might, right? If you're going to go through another game. Safety, because I think there's a lot to it. As a consumer, as a fan, do you want that? Like what's enough? I know we sit here all year and say we never get enough football. And then you complain that there's Tuesday football, and it's like, what do we complain about? Don't watch it if you don't want to watch it. There's too many bowl games. Well, then don't watch them. But we sit here all season and say, I love football, I love football, I love football, and then you tell me there's too much. There's not.
I think the only thing that frustrates the NFL consumer about football is
availability to watch it.
Yes. Of going, I need to fire up Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
Or I need to go on Netflix on Christmas.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But the 17, 18 games, no problem.
So you think the consumer is for another week of it, another week of fantasy football, all
Yes.
that's another week of betting. I mean, the draft houses are all about it. I'm sure they would up, DraftKings and FanDuel and MGM.
Was upset there were 17 games. The only thing is, where are you watching some of the games?
Yeah, I think that's right. So that's interesting, and it looks like it's coming down the pike, and it looks like it's gaining a little bit of momentum. And so watch it. It's going to be good off season. I mean, we're in it now. Good training camp conversation. But I got to believe that the fact that they're having it at a very, 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 that's 3 very high level conversation. It makes me think sooner as opposed to later, you're going to get some sort of agreement, at least an agreement in principle, that's where they're going. They're moving forward with an 18-game schedule. All right, 505-246-0610. As these media days continue, ACC is this week. And you know that league is the tipping point right now, the ACC with Clemson and Florida State. Their commissioner came out and talked about the future of his league, and he was pretty defiant. What he said, but what is reality, I want to get into that and what it may mean for the Mountain West and your league. We'll do that when we come back. Hey, property crimes on the right. You know that. I mean, it's if you haven't been a victim, you know someone who has. And when it's your home, when it's your business that gets broken into, it's a big deal. Call IPS and protect what's important to you. You've worked hard to build your business. You've worked hard on everything that you have at home. Protect your family and call IPS. I've worked with IPS for years. I've trusted them to protect my home. When I'm gone, and I've been traveling a bit, they're there every day. Like I see on the security cameras, middle of the night, middle of the day, it doesn't matter. They're by a couple times a day doing exterior checks. They roll the garbage cans back from the curb. When I was gone, they picked up a package that was delivered. They take care and make sure everything's good. My neighbors now use them. They install alarms now and camera systems. They've got state-of-the-art facilities. They monitor those cameras 24/7. It raises the level of security around your home or business. So you're traveling. Who's watching your home when you're away? Don't let it be the bad guys. Look, a quick response to your alarm or standing guards at your business. It's what IPS does. You sleep better at night. You can't prevent all the crime. But if you've got no protection, you're more likely to be victimized. Call IPS. The number is 505-897-2420. 505-897-2420. They're online at ipsglobal.com. IPS is passionate about making Albuquerque and Santa Fe better and safer places to live and work.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit HansWhitlerAuto.com.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Mirror here. And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay. We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field. 505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space. And you can be part of it.
You make my heart better. Try this shit better than all my intentions. Locked in shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
It's Dwight Goodman! Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Boom! Boom!
Tope's back at it today. Round Rock's in town. It is $1 hot dog night out at the Ball Yard. Take the family, go out, go to town. If you can't get out there, you'll hear it on the Sports Animal. Was on the Zoom call yesterday. The Topes and Major League Baseball announced the newest or latest participant in that Home Run Derby X, which is coming to Isotopes Park next month. Washington Nationals slugger, former Ryan Zimmerman, was on the call, JJ. And I had to jump off. I had a call. I didn't do the one-on-one afterwards, but it was interesting. He talks about, I can't believe how many times he said, out there. The question I was going to ask him if we did the one-on-one was like, dude, you say out there? He said his mother-in-law is from New Mexico. Wasn't sure from where. It was Albuquerque or somewhere in New Mexico. But he kept saying out there. He's a East Coast guy. His whole life has been on the East Coast. It's like he was talking about the moon, dude. Like, I can't wait to get out there and see what it's like out there. It's like it was Mars. Like he was coming out. But
ain't nothing live out there but rocks.
I told you, man. That was old Bobby Dodd told me that. Ain't nothing live out there but rocks. That's right. That's right. That's rocks. Ryan Zimmerman. So Ryan Zimmerman and Manny Ramirez and you got some names coming here next week or next month to hit the ball.
Ian Desmond.
Ian Desmond's coming. Yeah.
Yeah.
Johnny Gomes, right?
Johnny Gomes.
Yeah. And then I guess Thursday we're going to hear who the local participants are because they opened it up for some just people like y'all to go out and be part of this. I'm interested, man. I'm interested in the event. I'll go out and assuming I'm in town, I'm looking forward to seeing it.
It should be fun. It's great to get in that rotation. It's what you're looking for. Marquee events in Major League Baseball has put a lot behind this. This was an international thing the last couple of years, and now they're bringing it around the United States.
Yeah. All right. Media days are going on. The ACC, the Atlantic Coast Conference, they're the latest league on the tipping point right now. You look at their membership and you say, all right, that's a pretty good league. It's a pretty healthy league. Miami and Florida State, Clemson, but therein lies the problem. Therein lies what you're dealing with. Who wants out? And Florida State and Clemson want out. This was really, I don't want to say started, but it was amplified when Florida State went undefeated last year in college football. They won the ACC championship and were the only undefeated team left out in the history of the college football playoff. And their quarterback was hurt. They got left out for a one-loss Alabama, and they got really upset. Now, this league is bloated since they have added Stanford and Cal. 18 teams in this league. They go from the Bay Area to Boston. They go from Florida to Texas. SMU is in now too, right? And Clemson and Florida State have lawsuits against the ACC. They want to out the grant of rights, but nobody wants them. It's not like the Big Ten or the SEC have made them offers. Jim Phillips is the commissioner of the ACC, and he said Monday that the league would fight the lawsuits with Clemson for as long as it takes. He said the conference is bigger than any one school or schools. Quote, I can state that we will fight to protect the ACC and our members for as long as it takes. We are confident in this league and that it will remain a premier conference in college athletics for the long-term future. These disputes continue to be extremely damaging, disruptive, and incredibly harmful to the league, end quote. They are, dude. They're really damaging to this league. They added, would you say they're in the most, of the Power Four leagues? Well, it's not even a question. They're in the most precarious situation. If Florida State and Clemson leave, and I don't even know what that means where they go. Do they need to add? They would still be at 16. People are saying, well, then they'd come out west, and that's what Oregon State and Washington State are holding out hope for. That they would come out west, they would add Florida State, Washington State, maybe San Diego State and UNLV, and have a western wing of the ACC. I know that's what San Diego State fans are holding out hope for. Oregon State, Washington State. What does that do for them? Other than give them further presence. Numbers. But
if they blow up the grant of rights, which is what Clemson and Florida State are trying to do, to get out of their media rights deal, which is set in stone until I think
2032.
Yeah. I think it's not smart to be operating from a standpoint of, if you're any of these other universities, that you'd immediately slide in and get that piece of the pie that was left and think, oh, Florida State and Clemson are gone. Whatever combination of schools from the Mountain West go in there, and we get this exact amount of money. There's going to be a lot of haggling. I think at that point,
into the ACC.
Yes, there's going to be a lot of. I think the media partners will take a step back and go, "Oh, are we investing the same amount in this league?"
Which is ESPN
marquee products. I get you have the basketball perspective there with Duke and North Carolina, but I don't think it's as simple as A takes over for B.
And then the other question then is, how much of the core of that league stays together? There's a lot of talk that Virginia and Carolina would go to the Big Ten. Right? There's a lot of Miami, potentially to the SEC. Then what's left? If your league is, let's just say it's Boston College and Cal, and Georgia Tech and Louisville, and NC State's been rumored to get out too, Pittsburgh, SMU, Stanford, Syracuse, and Wake Forest. Does that do a lot for you? Now, where's everybody else filtering out to? Where's Virginia Tech going? Where's Virginia going? We're just pointed basically to two, and the Big 12 is trying to make it 3 super leagues. And I think the Big 12 has enough to hold on with brands like Arizona, Oklahoma State, Kansas in basketball, Texas Tech, Utah certainly, that they hold on as a number 3. But are we just looking at 3 20 to 22 team leagues at the power level? And the ACC just splinters away? And is that good for anybody?
Yes, it's good for the teams that are there.
Just making all that money.
They're very adamant, and there's been proposals now of these administrators, they're not hiding it. They're not playing the game anymore. They're saying, we want different rules. We want to make decisions based on what's best for us and not everyone else. And I think at some point you have to do that, because all these schools are not playing in the same monetary playing field. So you can't have power conference schools deciding stuff that trickles all the way down to institution number 347.
So this will be the first year with no Pac-12. As the new scholastic athletic year begins next month. This will be your first year in any of our lifetimes that there's been no Pac-8 or Pac-10 or Pac-12. a Big Ten that includes USC and UCLA and Oregon and Washington. And let me just give you an idea, right? League schedule for the University of Southern California football. At Michigan, home for Wisconsin, at Minnesota, home for Penn State, at Maryland, home for Rutgers, at Washington, home for Nebraska, and at UCLA. So they're going to go on the road to Michigan, Minnesota, Maryland. Now, granted, they're early. They're not. It's going to be before it's really cold. They'll go up to Washington in early November, and then a road game to the Rose Bowl, and then they'll go to South Bend. They're going to play Notre Dame to end it like they always do. That's a league schedule, man. You're playing. You're based on literally on the beach on the Pacific Ocean. You're going to the shores of the Atlantic. That's your league. Oregon. League schedule. At UCLA, home for Michigan State. Home for Ohio State, at Purdue. Home for Illinois, at Michigan. Home for Maryland, at Wisconsin, middle November. And then they'll play Washington. It's going to be interesting, man. It's going to just take a lot of adjustment. Your eyes are going to, you got to believe what your eyes are telling you sometimes, right? I'm watching Big Ten football, and that's Oregon versus Maryland. I'm watching Washington playing Purdue. I'm watching
just the name and doesn't mean anything else.
Yeah. No, your eyes, I mean, you're going to watch an ACC football game, and it's going to be Stanford versus Duke.
That is, like you said, it's just the banner that's flying. It doesn't mean anything anymore. The traditions, all that stuff is out the window right now as they try to figure out what that means for a lot of schools moving forward. I knew we were throwing some college football on over the weekend, playing the video game, which is absolutely awesome.
Is it nice? I got a link to it.
It's great gameplay. It is different than Madden. It's a wonderful game. But one of my buddies was like, he's a Miami fan, so I'm like, let's do an ACC matchup, and then scrolling through Cal and Stanford, I was like, oh yeah, well, that's a matchup.
Yep, they got bigger planes. How about your equipment truck, man? Your equipment truck guy's got to leave on Monday.
Do you have two of them?
Well, you might. No, honestly, Stanford's league schedule, and I guess you just leave them out there. Like literally, they open up at Syracuse. Can you have a longer road trip? I mean, you can when you go to Boston College. So their equipment truck's going to have to go from Stanford to Syracuse, and the next week they play at Clemson. It doesn't come home, obviously. It can't. It goes straight down there, does laundry in New Jersey or something. Home from Virginia Tech. They're at Notre Dame. It's kind of a league game. They're at North Carolina State. That's league games. That's what you wanted, man. All right, when we come back, Spencer Danielson is the first year. I mean, does last year count? He's the head coach of Boise State. He's a young man, fascinating young guy. They are the favorites to win the Mountain West Conference. Conversation with him, what he thinks of New Mexico, the league, and how he got the job at Boise State. It's the opening drive. He's next on 95.9 FM and AM 610 Sports Animal.
Did the recent rain find its way into your house?
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Cross-Camara here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Try this shit better than all my intentions. Locked in shorty, you got my attention. See your baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit HansWhitlerAuto.com.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, ripped, plastered, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot. It's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
You make my heart better. Try this shit better than all my intentions. Locked in shorty, you got my attention. See your baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in Burquia. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you.
I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Spell, get ready!
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
Sports Animal.
All right, preseason rankings are out. Media Day was, 2 weeks ago already now. Mountain West football camps, Lobos open up this week. Season starts a month from tomorrow, Montana State at University Stadium. Opening drive, Jefferson Bieta, J.J. Buck. J.J., I've been going to these for a long time. I know you have too. Never come out of there where Boise State wasn't picked at the top of the polls. Have you ever seen? I mean, they never have been. Now, they don't win every year, but they were picked there again. Spencer Danielson's their head coach. He's interesting. So they made a coaching change midway through the season last year and really turned it around. And the players and everybody around the program rallied behind a young man named Spencer Danielson, a young guy in the coaching circles. And it's going to be fun to watch. He earned that job. He is coached. I mean, you talk about guys who have been all over the place. Well, he hasn't been. He's coached at his alma mater, Azusa Pacific, and 8 years at Boise State. 35 years old, Solana Beach, California. That's a San Diego County kid, by the way. I had a conversation with Spencer Danielson. It sounded like this. Well, it would sound better than that, actually. We're going to get that for you. He's a guy that had an opportunity, and he told me to go and be with Brian Harsin, go to Auburn. He had a bunch of opportunities. He passed them up for different reasons. His wife had a child. It just the timing wasn't right. And so he had a 3-week stint last year as the interim coach, and he led the Broncos to 3 consecutive wins. They won a Mountain West Conference championship, and it led him to become the 12th head coach in the history of Boise State. For him, he said this was kind of a dream come true. And you ready for it? All right. I think you'll enjoy hearing what he had to say.
First of all, congratulations on having that interim. I know it's way too delayed, but having the interim taken away and the stability, congratulations on the success you had and just what you did to earn this job at the end of last year.
No, thanks, Jeff. By the grace of God, and as a testament to our players and our coaches not losing focus and finishing strong. And we love, me and my family, been there. This is year number 8 at Boise State, and it's home for us. It's a dream job for me. And being able to continue to push forward to new heights is something I'm fired up to do. And I love that expectations are high at Boise State. They should be, and excited to keep pushing.
You know, I think people who don't know, they say, well, he came up through the Boise State system. He must be from there. At some point, I guess you're from somewhere, but right? But that's not it. You've been in 2 places, Azusa Pacific and now Boise State, and you're the head coach at one of the top programs in America.
Yeah. No, it is funny because I get that all the time. Well, tell me all the places you've been. I'm like, well, I played at Azusa Pacific, I coached there for a while, and I've been at Boise State. That's it. That's what it is. Exactly right. And every once in a while you meet someone that says, Christian Okoye, the Nigerian Nightmare. I'm like, yep, that's what it is. But I got into coaching at Azusa Pacific because I was around great coaches. Victor Santa Cruz, who's the head coach there, I'm still close with, impacted and changed my life. And I was going to go into business. I got my MBA. I was going to be a business guy. And I was just like, I got done playing in December, started coaching in January. And been doing it ever since, and moved out to Boise to be a GA, and didn't know nothing about the area. Obviously knew about the success the football program had, but knew nothing about the area. And me and my wife moved out there in January 2017, and it's become home.
And that's what I think is so fascinating about your story. Spencer Danielson, Boise State's head coach, 8 years on a staff is a long time. I mean, heck, a player staying 2 years now is a long time. And I know you had opportunities. Why did you stay? Maybe it was just a convergence of circumstances. I know you had a chance to go to Auburn. You had a lot of opportunities. And obviously things work for a reason.
Yeah, I mean it, Jeff. God works in mysterious ways. And there's been different opportunities to leave for different jobs. And each time they come up, you pray about it. Me and my wife kind of look at it together. But we felt called to Boise State football. And it says in the Bible, we've been called to the kingdom for such a time as this. Like, I feel like we've been called to this place. And it's a place that we love. And I'm very, very passionate to push it forward. And right now, every single player on our team, I've been able to be around them when they were recruited. And so when I got the head coaching job, it wasn't, hey, I'm the new head coach. I'm meeting these. I knew them.
Well, they pulled for you, and that had to matter, right? I think that's a big reason you got this gig is the players in that room. Now, look, players a lot of times pull for a coach. Administration goes another way. Yep. But obviously Jeremiah believed in you. The players believed in you. And it seems like the fan base does.
Well, they 100% did. And I'm so humbled by it because I love those young men deeply. I'd do anything for them. And the community, just how it all went, especially going into, especially in the situation that came up, no idea what was going to happen. My wife and me were thinking we're going to have to leave a place that we love here in a month. And going from that to being named the head coach, so humbled and honored, and can't wait for the future.
He's Spencer Danielson, Boise State's head coach. They are picked to win the Mountain West Conference in the preseason polls. I've been coming here every year that you've been in the league and before that. And since Boise, I don't think I've ever not seen Boise State at the top of the poll. And I know you're going to tell me it doesn't mean anything. But how good's your football team? Because you've seen 8 versions up close and personal of Boise State. And what I'm hearing coming out of people who cover this team is this might be the best one that Boise State's had in the last decade.
We got a really good team, Jeff. But I completely agree with you. Since I've been at Boise State, every year we're picked to win it. And I talked to our team yesterday before flying out. Like, guys, we got players on our team that are getting preseason awards, preseason award watch lists. We're picked to win the conference, blah, blah, blah. Awesome. It doesn't matter. We got to go win. And we've been picked every year. We haven't won the championship every year since I've been there. We won it last year. We hadn't won it prior to since 2019.
And you had to come back.
Yes, from the depths. And so for our guys, we got a good team. I really like our team. I do think every coach that walks around here is probably saying they love their team. But we got a good group of guys that have been through a lot together and have stayed together through it too. Even with all this attrition of the portal windows, we've kept our team, and that's a testament to the locker room and who our players are.
In that vein, Ashton, maybe the best, certainly one of the best running backs in the country. I know he had offers. You know he had offers. And I don't want to get into details, and I'm not asking you money and dollars and NIL, but a young man like that to stay in Boise when he could have, as one basketball player who recently left New Mexico said, go to a bigger stage. Yeah. Right? And you're like, wow, the Pit's a pretty big stage. Yeah. Boise State's a pretty big stage. How do you keep players? Is it relationships? Is it opportunity? Because that young man had a lot of opportunity.
Oh, he absolutely did. And the whole time, Ashton Jeanty wanted to be at Boise State. There was never one point where it's, all right, we got to convince Ashton that Boise State's better. He wanted to be there. There was a lot of different aspects with the illegal recruitment of him and the money and stuff, but he wanted to be at Boise State. He stayed because he knows he wants to be developed here. He wants to play in the NFL, and he knows the community supports and loves him, and that's going to be forever. He's betting on the long term, which he should, because he's that type of young man that will be playing in the NFL. And that's the players that come to Boise State. You come to Boise State to be developed, to win championships, play in the NFL. If you're focused on other things, they don't come to Boise. Go somewhere else. We'll just play and beat you. Like that's what we're about.
Schedule's interesting. In Oregon, I know jumps off the page, but then you've got the conference schedule. Talk about this league. And I know what the top looks like. I think we all do. And it's interesting now to see San Diego State picked 8th. And I know polls don't mean anything, but I know where they've been. And the importance of what, and I'm using air quotes, the bottom of the league to get better and challenge. And is it better for a league to have a dominant team? Is it better for Boise State to go undefeated, or is it better for, like we've had the last couple of years, some parity and anybody can beat anybody?
Yeah, I think, you could tell by 7 new head coaches in the Mountain West that it's a tough conference. The Mountain West is a strong conference. I think there's 34 or something like that, A4 games that our conference is playing.
And a bunch at home.
And a bunch at home. And that's a testament to the strength of schedule, but it's a hard conference. Every week you better be ready to roll or you'll get knocked out. And that's no matter who it is at any time. But I do think with the expanded college football playoff, being able to, for a team to win the conference and get a shot to play in the college football playoff is what we're all trying to do. I know that's our goal. We don't talk about it a ton because right now we got to focus on making sure we handle July 11th the right way as a team. But that's a goal for us. And I think being able to win the games you need to in your conference, which is easier said than done, win the championships and then having a shot to go play in the college football playoff is what all these coaches are trying to get done.
All right, go get it done. A handsome man in a really, really nice seersucker suit just pointed at his watch. I appreciate your time.
Thanks,
Good
Jeff.
luck to you, man.
Appreciate it.
I got that look from the SID. Like he just kind of hit his watch. JJ, I think, I know we're late, so let's hit this. When we come back, he said illegal recruitment in there. Something that just jumps out at you. That I think everybody's acknowledging. What you thought of Spencer Danielson? Impressive young man, and a good route. Sure, he loves his team and he's excited, but there were a few things in there about what he said about what Boise State has become and how they were able to keep one of the best running backs in the country. We'll do that next. Love to hear from you at 505-246-0610. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Everguard Roofing and Solar. For nearly 20 years, Everguard Roofing and Solar has been working with New Mexicans to enhance their homes and businesses. For all your roofing and solar needs in New Mexico, call 505-821-9543. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, ripped, plastered, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you.
I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Cross-Camara here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
State was very, very vocal about tampering. And he used the word tampering. In the conversation he and I just had that you heard, he said illegal recruitment. Back in May, he was talking about Ashton Jeanty, a young man who may be an All-America running back, a young man who had to have his own media days, JJ, because he wasn't 21 years old and couldn't get into the circa. They wouldn't let him on property. When I understand, that's why the Lobos did not bring their quarterback. Quote back in May from Spencer Danielson, even with the amount of tampering and stuff thrown at him and his family, he consistently says, I want to be a Bronco. It was probably way more than people know. That was part of his quote. This goes back. He has been as adamant and as vocal about what he called tampering and illegal methods of recruiting. And I appreciate that he's not afraid to go out there and say it. And he said in that piece, if you know you hear about the money, it's the wrong place. That's cool. Go somewhere else, and we'll beat you. But there's part of me, JJ, and there's ways to say things where it sounds like you're whining and making excuses. And I guess when you win, and you win the recruiting battle, and you're able to fend it off sometimes, maybe you've got more of a leg to stand on. But I almost appreciate him, A, saying it, and B, how he said it. Does that make sense?
These dudes need to start coming with something else.
So that bothers
Because if
you.
everyone is saying it,
Yep.
then who's not doing it? Or like who's doing it? Because everyone says, oh, they're tampering that here, they're tampering this. Okay, where are you getting your players from? So you're telling me no one in your collective ever had a conversation with someone?
Okay, so that hit you differently than it hit me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, then come with an idea. If everyone is doing it, what should you do? Should you just be signing 1-year scholarship deals with all these players, then have an open negotiating period? What are you going to do other than saying tampering?
Yeah, I mean, he said back in May the amount of tampering and illegal stuff thrown at Ashton and his family, and he consistently says, I'm a Boise State Bronco. I want to continue to be part of this. It's through the roof, way more than people even know. It's a testament to who he is as a kid, end quote. I think the answer is, now how you police it is a whole nother story. The answer is when the portal opens and a young man goes into the portal, you can have the conversations. We know what was going on with Donovan Dent here, right? I mean, he never put his name in the portal. We know.
Until there's something where you get hit with, your collective can't spend money, but then who's doing this or who's negotiating that? Like, to me, it falls on like deaf ears.
Okay. It hit me a little different.
Everyone is doing it.
Yep.
So what are you going to do to push back on it?
Well, and that's what he's doing. He's pushing back and saying, our guy's staying. And I guess when it hit me a little different because everybody else who's saying it wasn't able to keep their dude. Although that's not totally true because, and Richard Pitino had said it a lot, but New Mexico was able to keep Donovan Dent. They were not able to keep JT Top. And the number that we're hearing on JT is north of $1 million, close to $1.5 million. I mean, you couldn't battle that. No, it's interesting. How does it hit you when you hear it? Does it bother you? Are you tired of it? Or it's interesting. 505-246-0610. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
These days, it's important to know people and businesses you can trust. There's a lot of places where you can buy a vehicle, but there's only a few local dealerships where you'll find honest people who have your best interests in mind. And Fiesta Kia is one of them. We've been helping our neighbors save money and drive dependable cars for years, and we'd love to help you. With new Kias arriving daily, you'll love our selection and the peace of mind you'll get driving a Kia from Fiesta. So stop by and see us today at Fiesta Kia on Lomas, or just start driving now at fiestakia.com.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you.
I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Cross-Camara here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Like me, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready.
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part,
so that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
Bring it back to love.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you.
I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago.
I think we are improved, but our conference is so tough, and my new favorite might be guys had opportunities elsewhere but stayed because they're buying into what we're doing here. It's from Rod. PSOD might want to think about putting up a help wanted sign in the window for a new producer. Maybe. If that's all you got out of it, I feel for you. And I guess
sorry I'm doing such a bad job producing.
No, right? If that's what you're getting out of that too, I feel for you. If that's all you're getting out of these, I mean, maybe I'm not doing a good enough job. Obviously, there's way more in there. Yeah, guys going to tell you that. They're in that mode. But JJ, you've been with me long enough, and I know how you do it. You've seen these guys walk away from it and goes, wow, that was different, right? Every time we sit down with
them. It's how you want to take these. Some people are just conditioned like Rod to just hear those buzzwords in it, and that's fine. And there's other levels to the conversation. I'm not, I hear these coaches talk about tampering. I'm not mad about it.
Yeah.
But it's like every coach is saying everyone else is doing it, and it's not us.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, okay, well then what do you think can be done? I understand it's really tough to be a college coach right now, but this is what's happening. Do you think there should be penalties, or how do you call someone out? Because everyone likes calling people out in the media.
Yeah, and that's my fault for not asking
Jay
that
Norvell
question.
did the same thing.
Yeah.
And he's like Kansas State. But I'm not blaming anyone at Kansas State, but Kansas State came after my guys. Like, all these guys are saying it. Do you have any ideas of how to slow it down? What should be the penalties? Like, because if everyone else is doing it, but you're not the ones that are doing it.
Yeah, and then that's probably, I probably should have followed him up with that. And I guess I didn't have those old quotes in my head. Going into it, and I should have thought of that. But you'll hear some other stories. When we talk with Jay Sawvell, the new coach of Wyoming, who spent 15 years with Jerry Kill. I think,
ooh,
yeah, and he'll
had some stories.
Yeah, right. I thought Nate Driley on Friday that we ran, who was the defensive coordinator at New Mexico State.
Crazy. 2 weeks for him getting ready to
honestly,
represent Utah State.
And then one of his players just passed away.
Oh yeah, what we saw there, just
Andre Selden.
And just tough off season. And then you look at the Mountain West, and I didn't get a chance to. I've been together for a little while.
No.
So Jeff Tedford shows up as Fresno State's coach.
Okay.
And leaves not as Fresno State's coach.
Dude, I saw him on whatever day it was, Wednesday? Thursday. It was Thursday. Well, I saw him Wednesday, and we talked a little bit on Thursday. And so I saw him in Scottsdale back in May, and he looked good. And I always, with Jeff, it's always, how you feeling? And he says, I feel great. Actually, I'm excited. I feel refreshed. Jeff, Fresno State has been in the He's led in New Mexico Bowl 2 of the last 3 years, but he didn't coach either game. He was here for the first one when Lee Marks coached because he had just been rehired. And then last year he wasn't here because he was out on that medical leave, and Tim Skipper coached. But I see Jeff at all these events. And so that was my big thing with him, was like, how do you feel? He's like, and it was really encouraging, JJ. He's like, yeah, no, I feel actually really good and refreshed, as good as I felt. The time off was good. And then literally days later, it comes down where he's stepping down because he went back and had a visit with his doctor and he stepped down for medical. That was bizarre.
Yeah, it's
and it was
unfortunate.
A bummer.
Jeff Tedford, because I think Fresno State, though, still in a good position because they've dealt with it before. It's how they ended last season.
Tim Skipper's going to take over. Is he?
I think they're the second best team in the conference preseason.
Who was picked second?
It was UNLV.
UNLV. Dude, let me just tell you something. Like UNLV is good, and I spent. We'll hear from Barry Odom, who was coach of the year, but I spent some time without a device, a recorder going, and spent some good time with Barry Odom, and a good buddy of mine out there is friends with him, and so I got it was good. I got to know him quite a bit on this trip, and he's a heck of a coach. I mean, you look at his background. I mean, he's just a football coach now. Like what he did there at UNLV might be the best coaching job in America last year. Is that way too much?
No, not at all. It was phenomenal.
They were on target, and they lost a close game in Boise to win the league. And then he loses Maava, the quarterback who committed first to Georgia and then to USC, a freshman from Vegas. JJ, he was telling me about what he had to do. They had to find NIL money just to get him to play in the bowl game. They played in the Guaranteed Rate Bowl and lost to Kansas State. But he's got some recruiting stories too now off of his roster, but they think they got a ton of talent. They got great receivers. I think you'll enjoy that conversation. We'll talk with Ken Niumatalolo, who you remember as the longtime coach at Navy. Ken Niumatalolo's in this league now. He was at UCLA for a minute. His son played for Bronco Mendenhall at BYU. So I think you'll enjoy what he had to say about Bronco. Troy Calhoun talks about Bronco. And look, Troy is 16, 17 years in this league now, for crying out loud.
And that's why going into this season, there's opportunity across the board for teams with the unknown, like the Lobos and 60 new players on the roster, brand new coaching staff, because of the changes from so many other teams within the Mountain West Conference. I think you can look at the top and I know Boise State's going to be good. I expect Fresno State to be good. Air Force finds a way to compete and win games. I'll give UNLV a bit of a benefit because I think Barry Odom is that good, but losing quarterback of that caliber is a bit of.
Do you think they take a huge drop?
I think they drop.
Okay.
I don't know if I'm ready to say huge.
Fresno State's got Mikey Keene back, and so that's why you like them better, because they've got a quarterback that's proven coming back, as opposed to
whoever starts for UNLV could be really good, and that's why it's one of the biggest unknown seasons.
Yeah.
Because I think Colorado State, Dre Norvell feels that they have some consistency with their quarterback position, and could that put them at the top? But there's three teams I expect: Boise State, Fresno State, Air Force to win games. Outside of that, it's kind of like throw the helmets in the hopper and see how they.
Well, and I think so much because there's 8 new coaches now. If you is it 9 now? With Tim Skipper taking over for Jeff Tedford, I think it was 8 when we went there. It was 7, and then when Blake Anderson got fired, and Nate Dreiling took over at Utah State, it became 8. Is Tim Skipper? I mean, you consider him a new coach, even though he was interim last year at the end of the year? I mean, yeah, right. The only places that have coaches,
I wouldn't. It's kind of the same thing when I think of Boise State. When they're like, "Oh, it's a new head coach in the league," and I'm like, "Well, I don't really feel that way."
Well, they removed the interim tag.
Yeah, when you're comparing him to,
and you got 2 guys with interim tags starting the season.
So I that's why I trust Danielson and Skipper with the carryover, the continuity. in this don't necessarily have them in the same sentence as Sean Lewis at San Diego State.
There's only 4 coaches returning full-time head coaches in this league. Troy Calhoun at Air Force, Jay Norvell at Colorado State, Timmy Chang at Hawaii, and Barry Odom at UNLV. Everybody else is either an interim or brand new.
I would guess I would have to, in that vein, give some credit to like Wyoming. Man, trying to keep the consistency.
So they promoted their defensive coordinator, Jay Sawvell, who had been there for a while under Craig Bold, and they knew what they were doing. They had a plan there. And again, you're going to enjoy him. Once he warmed up, dude.
It's always after the first couple questions.
Well,
if
so
you can get them.
I got a little advantage the night before. There was a reception for Bowl.
Yeah, you have that.
Right. And so they had a head coaches, administrators, and bowl directors at a reception. And so I got to spend time, literally good one-on-one time with a bunch of these guys. Really spent some time with Nate Dreiling, which was
So
great.
they're already comfortable coming in a situation.
Right.
Mine is usually I'll ask them a question about like a random destination, like coaching in high school,
right?
or
And
their
they're like,
first
"How'd you
coaching
know that?"
job, and they're like, "Oh," and then it takes them back. That's kind of my icebreaker.
Yeah, which is good. No, and that's why I appreciate Spencer and little things like when they're doing so many of these, and the little thing that always impresses me when a guy will refer to you in the conversation by your name. You know, he called me by my name a number of times, and he's doing how many of these interviews? I appreciated that, but yeah, no, I had a great advantage on the night prior, and spent time with probably 7 or like Jeff Choate, who we didn't have on recorded conversation, the new coach at Nevada. I probably spent about 10 minutes with talking about what's going on up there and with their athletic director. And she really likes what Jeff Choate does, and he's a wild card, dude. He had a ton of success at the FCS level, and he goes into Nevada, and they've struggled. I think they've won 6 games in the last 2 years. What are they? Who are they? Right? And I guess you just don't know. They've had some success, but he was the co-defensive coordinator, inside linebackers coach at Texas. He's coming from a pretty good spot now, right? He was 28-22 in 4 years at Montana State. Oh, Montana State. You just don't know, right? So we'll see. All right, 505-246-0610, 888-922-0610. Talk of 18 games in the National Football League as a regular season. You can get into LeBron yesterday against Germany. The Olympics are coming. How do you feel about the Olympics? And you know, we didn't hit this today. We kind of got to. Aaron Rodgers and the whole semantics thing and where that goes. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here. And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay. We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field. 505 Sports Adventure is leading the charge in the NIL space. And you can be part of it.
Try this shit better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you.
I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, Find it on ProView Networks.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman! Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet.
Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Boom! Boom!
Seriously? You expect me to drive while you aren't wearing seatbelts?
What's the worst that can happen?
Seriously? Buckle up.
Okay.
Thank you.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number one in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own.
I got a weird text on the text line. It made me scramble a little bit. It says, "Good morning, fellas. I was reading a story on Google. Cowboys quarterback Dak Prescott was traded to the Rams. Is this true or a bogus report? Thanks, Jeff and JJ. It's from John of the Duke City. I mean, everything I can see, it's a bogus report. I don't know what you saw, but I've seen nothing anywhere alluding to Dak Prescott to the Rams. No.
That could have been a what could happen story.
Okay.
Not anything immediate.
Yeah.
Because if you're thinking about the Rams and Matthew Stafford not having any guaranteed money after
Next
this
year,
season,
yeah.
Dak Prescott going to be a free agent.
Yeah.
It's one of those stories.
I can see that.
Dak Prescott was traded to the Rams today.
I can see that. But no, not now. All right, there is NFLPA talk. The Players Association says the NFLPA, the executive director of the NFLPA, the group that represents the players, has said that they are having conversations he said three varies. Very, very, very high level conversations. His name is Lloyd Howell. He talked to the Washington Post about an 18-game schedule. It could happen before the collective bargaining agreement runs out, which is at the end of the 2030 season. So keep your eye on that. There'll be a lot of talk about that. And it's just one more week of football for you. One more week to bet, one more week to play fantasy football, one more week to screw it up, one more week to, I got beat on a 2-point conversion, that stuff. Camp news today. Hassan Reddick, the Jets defensive end, is not reporting he wants a new deal. He's making $14.5 million in the last year of his deal, so he wants out, a new deal. The Jets thing is so interesting, and I listened to Aaron Rodgers talk about missing the mandatory minicamp and how, in his mind, it's just semantics, that it's really OTAs, optional team activities, or organized team activities, and that he was there for all of them, and they can label them whatever they want. And when I heard it coming out of his mouth, it almost sounded worse than reading it, JJ. And no, honestly, just this, the Aaron Rodgers, I'm smarter than you, and it really was just OTAs, and they called it minicamp. Everybody else figured it out. Everybody else got the memo that was minicamp. Why don't you just say, man, I had a trip planned, and it was around an event, and it was planned for a while. And it just so happened it was around the minicamp, and it sucked to miss it, but I did. And that's why I made sure I was there for all the other stuff, all the OTAs. But yeah, I missed that one, and it was a trip that around an event that we had scheduled, and that's what I did. Like I would eat that so much better than the
because
crap that he's serving
Aaron
up.
Rodgers. And Colin Cowherd yesterday summed it up perfectly. Rodgers is at the point of his career where it's not just football; it's for him. He wants to win these media battles. He wants to be the smartest guy in the room. And it's not, and I don't, in pushing back on things or having different ideas, I know a lot of people say, oh, this person just wants to be the smartest guy in the room. And Rodgers does that with everything. And that's why he's been labeled that over the last few years. It's not just he has different thoughts and opinions. He just battles everyone on it. And it just feels like he always has to come out on top. He always has to have the last word. He's not one of those guys that's, going back and forth. That was fun. And he's like, no, you're just dumb and I'm Aaron Rodgers. Like, that's the vibe that he gives off. And there's a reason we looked at the situation with the Jets. You just laid it out and say, just come out there and own it. Move on. It's fine. But he's not that guy. And you just look at everything he says. And I was watching some of the interview he was doing with Part of My Take Two. And he's like, he just kind of sitting on shot. And it's like, football's not hard for me anymore. And it's like he's doing all these other things because football is,
because he's bored,
like
he just needs to be challenged. He needs to be challenged.
And it's just the way it comes across. Yeah.
But all that might even still play if you don't contradict it with all this other non-football BS, we got to get out of the room, and all these distractions. And you be the guy who says, we got to get rid of all this other stuff, and then you're the one who brings all the other stuff to the table. And I know all his teammates are saying the right thing. I get that they're all kind of falling in line and behind Aaron, because look, they all want to win too. And they realize he has to be good for them to win. What if they start out 1-5, 1-4? God, their schedule, I can't see it. But let's say they lose to the Niners, lose the Titans. I mean, they go Niners, Titans, Patriots, Broncos, Vikings, dude. I mean, they should
start off well.
Yeah, but let's say they don't with that schedule. Let's say they start out 2-2, 2-3. Do they continue to buy his crap? The bottom line is, if he's a 40-year-old, arrogant, really good player, rich guy, smarter than you, contradicting himself. I mean, how long does it play in the locker room if they don't win?
I think it in the locker room.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's saying the right thing now because they all want to win. So fine, Aaron can go to Egypt and can ride camels, do whatever he wants to do. It's not going to matter come September or whatever. But if they're not winning, I wonder how long they buy. Because, I mean, look, Hard Knocks made it look like he's just one of the guys. He gets along with him. No, they all looked up to him. They all watched him playing, coming up. They they had no choice, right? He's the demigod there. But hell, man, the guy almost dropped out of football to go be RFK's VP, right? I didn't hear the Pardon My Take Two, or is that what it was you said? What was it? So why is he playing football then? I mean, if he almost sounds bored with it. Now, the answer is making $50 million a year.
Point where these guys, it's when you look at Aaron Rodgers right now, or Tom Brady towards the end, they manage their off seasons differently. But
I'm okay with that,
which is fine. But he almost is like, I guess I have to go play quarterback now. I guess I got to do these things. You made that choice. Like, you have committed to try to prove a point that the Achilles is not the end for you. Like, so you want to do
that. Would be the motivator, wouldn't it?
Like, you want to prove everyone wrong.
Yeah.
But in an off season, it seems so simple. You are just continuing to create the noise which you said needs to go away.
That would be the motivator. To do something nobody else done, to do something that everybody told me I can't do, to come back from the Achilles. And you know, the answer seems so simple to me. Why is he still playing? If he's better than it, if it's not challenging, all this stuff, who doesn't like another $50 million? $52 million, whatever he's making. I mean, that's the answer, right? He made $52 million last year and played 4 snaps. Now, he got hurt, and that's part of the deal, and that's why they get paid so much money. And their windows closed. They're really tight. What's a successful year for them?
Playoffs.
So that would be sufficient? Wild card team. Not winning that division?
I think they can compete because I think Miami has a lot of questions on defense.
Buffalo does too.
Buffalo has those questions. I think Josh Allen can erase more of those questions than Tua. But if the Jets play defense like you expect them to, Rodgers is good. Don't expect him to be great. They will be in contention in that division.
Right. I'd love your thoughts on it. When you hear Aaron Rodgers talk, what do you hear? Right? Do you hear an arrogant, full of crap guy? What do you hear? 505-246-0610. Hey, take your events to the next level. Whatever your event is. From 2 people to 20,000 people, the Albuquerque Convention Center has the spaces you need, and they got so much more. Diverse layouts fulfill every event planner's desire. They've got exterior, interior walls decorated by a number of local art pieces, great food and beverage options, located in historic downtown. Your event, no matter what it is, will sure to satisfy every attendee. What are we talking about? Parties, celebrations, holiday parties. I know it's July, but you're going to be looking for a place. Think about the Albuquerque Convention Center. It's in the heart of downtown with diverse spaces. They'll accommodate anything imaginable. Intimate meetings, gatherings to grand expos and conferences. Service and food beverage options go above and beyond. Your dream event will become a reality, and everyone will have a great time. Be at the center of it all. Albuquerque Convention Center, 505-768-4575. 505-768-4575 or at albuquerquecc.com.
The Jim. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
We here at Clark's Pet Emporium welcome you to bring in your pets. We know that having your pet with you makes the experience of shopping for them even better. And we welcome you to bring your kids also. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Light skin shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
See the pictures of Tiger Woods' leg? We've never seen, to the best of my knowledge, the scars from the crash that nearly took his leg back in February 2021. Tiger was in Detroit this week. His son, Charlie, was playing in the U.S. Junior Amateur on Monday, and Tiger was wearing some shorts, and there's some pictures, and the scars are pretty gnarly. And thank you to Bourne for sending the link over to me. But, yeah, this is the first time we got to look. The inside, below the knee, I mean, the scars are pretty gnarly. And I had no doubt they would be. In fact, I almost thought they'd be worse than what I'm seeing in the pictures. But, yeah, he was out there. Charlie shot an 82. He was, I think, 12 over par. First round yesterday. Frustrated. But he's wearing the Tiger gear, like the, what was it called? Sunday Red brand. He looks good. But, yeah, that's the first. I can't recall ever seeing any pictures of that before. It's the opening drive, Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck. Deutsch says, Dak to the Rams. There was a talking head who was screaming if Dallas gets off to a slow start, Jerry might trade him to the Rams for a boatload of draft picks and begin the rebuilding process. And they would tank this season. Okay. But yeah, as far as something that happened today, no, I haven't seen anything like that. And I mean, it would be more probable. And I don't think either one of them happened. He signs before the season starts or he gets traded. Signs, right?
He signs. Yeah. There's zero chance of a Dak Prescott trade happening after the season starts. Especially to a team like the Rams. So they just bring in Dak Prescott to backup Stafford, or they be benching Stafford?
No, it would be No. We had this conversation yesterday about the Raiders who were holding training camp for 18 days in Costa Mesa. That's in Orange County, just south of Los Angeles. And they are not allowed to promote their practices. They are not allowed to invite or credential the Southern California media because of this obscure rule that there's a 75-mile rule within the market. You just can't move into another team's territory. And the Rams and the Chargers both said, yeah, no, we're not going to waive that rule. And I asked you yesterday, why can the Cowboys do that up in Oxnard, which is 62 miles north of downtown Los Angeles? The Cowboys do those same things, right? But the Cowboys were already practicing there before the Rams and Chargers moved into LA. So you were right on this. They were grandfathered in. That's how this thing worked.
Yes, because they were there.
Yeah. All right. So they were there first, and so they're not going to throw them out. They were doing it beforehand. All right. 505-246-0610. Hello, Howard. How you living? Let me do that again. I didn't hit it hard enough the first time. It's like the golf swing. If you do it nice and slow, it works. Hi, Howard.
Good morning, guys. How you doing?
Good. What's happening?
No way Jarrah would tank. He's an egomaniac. there's no way Jarrah would tank. So I think the Cowboys are going to sign him, but it's still a hot mess down in Dallas. I mean, I don't know how you expect to compete with. You're so top heavy on money, and you just kept mortgaging the future. And now, guess what? Say it's time to pay the piper. But I don't see him tanking. But on another note, so whoever is going out to Dollar Hot Dogs tonight, enjoy. How many dogs are you good for, JJ?
Me? Zero.
Yeah.
Zero. When was the last time you had a hot dog?
How about you, Jeff?
If I wanted to, I could probably do 4. I just don't want to. Like.
Yeah, you're taking up valuable beer space. Maybe 1 or 2 and beer, right?
What would you do? I mean, you do a couple and a beer?
Couple and a beer, man.
Yeah, just because they're cheap doesn't mean they're good.
That's right. But you know what? It's like watching a dog pee. You can't resist. You still got to go out and buy one and eat it. They're not that good, but you still do it.
Yeah, you lather them up with whatever it is. What do you put on a hot dog?
Mustard and relish.
All right. JJ don't have hot dogs. I do ketchup, mustard, and relish. And you can shame me all you want. I don't care. I mean, don't tell me how to eat. But, yeah, if you load it up, I could probably, you know what? I guess I could do 2 in a beer. Yeah.
You know what, JJ? Try some candy corn on that hot dog. You might like it, man.
Might do that.
Have a good day, guys.
See ya, Howie. Candy dog. A candy corn dog.
I could probably do 3. I just don't eat hot dogs.
Yeah, I can't tell you the last time I had a hot dog.
I could probably do 3.
I had a sausage recently.
Oh, yeah.
Grilled up some sausage on the grill, and they were good. I didn't put them on a bun and eat them like a dog, though. I can't tell you the last time I picked up a hot dog. I mean, I'm not, no shame to those who love the hot dog, and I'm not against them, and I will eat one. Maybe you should go out to the ball yard tonight and have a couple hot dogs for $1. Kid's probably working. She's working 3 jobs, so she'll make the money, and I'll spend $1 on hot dogs. I mean, it makes sense with tuition coming up, doesn't it? Just saying. All right, what else do I got from you guys? Albuquerque's new look baseball team. What the hell just happened there? It just got locked out. Isotopes back at it today. And where did it go? All right, never mind. I'm not going to dig that out. I lost it. I told you I watched that Rockies game last night. That was about as entertaining of a baseball game as I've seen in a long time. Did you catch the back end of it? Good pitching, clutch hitting. Red Sox scored 1 in the 10th. They scored 2 in the 10th. Sam Hilliard came back and hit a 2-run bomb in the 10th, and then they win it in the 12th. I mean, for 2 teams that are going nowhere, I really enjoyed a baseball game last night between the Red Sox and the
Red Sox
Rockets.
are only 2 games out of a wild card.
All right. 2 games out of the wild card.
They're 53 and 46, so they're going somewhere.
Yeah, I guess they're going somewhere.
The Rockies,
they're only 7 games
They're
back.
not going anywhere.
Rockies are 23 games back. Yeah, I was flat out entertained by the baseball last night. You got the trade deadline coming up, and I know you listed a bunch of stuff here that may happen. What is it? It's in a week from today. There's always something big happens. Like something will happen, right? Do you see what's the biggest name you think that moves?
It is probably Tyler Skubal.
Okay.
For the Tigers.
Yeah.
He's the biggest name there. Garrett Crochet. Okay. For the White Sox, trying to get his last name.
Starting pitcher?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
The 2 probably biggest names.
Do the Braves make a move with Albies on the shelf? Do Dodgers make a move with all their injuries, or they just wait for
Dodgers
people to come back?
Something.
Dodgers always add something, right? Clayton Kershaw go tonight or tomorrow? Tomorrow night, I think, against the Giants. I want to see what he's got. I know they want to see what he's got. And as they get guys back, I mean, they've been doing this without Mookie Betts. They've been doing it without most of their starting pitching staff. I'm interested to watch that part of it, and then who moves stuff. You know, the Astros are going to be interesting too, I think, because the Astros were going to be sellers. And then all of a sudden, the Astros went on a little bit of a tear. And now the Astros find themselves tied for first place with the Mariners at the top of the American League West, and thinking that they can make something happen. And they've been on, quite a little run since a horrible start. Are they buyers? Because there was a lot of talk, would Alex Bregman be on the market? With his contract up, what are they going to do? They're really interesting, man. And I got to tell you, I think they're pretty dangerous in the American League.
They are. And, the Mariners are a team you want to buy into. It's a lot of baseball left to be played. I like their pitching staff. They have some good young arms, but you just got to be sitting there going, really? Back to the Astros finding a way to be in this race.
Yeah. I mean, give me a reason that they won't be. I love what the Mariners do. I always like the Mariners. And Texas is only 4 games back, and they're the defending champs. The team that, and only baseball people are talking about the Indians and Orioles, because if you don't watch until, I don't know, August, and that's when you kind of tune into baseball, you're going to say, what the hell's going on? The Orioles could be the best team in baseball. Is that pushing it too much?
Best team in baseball is the Phillies.
Okay. Will you give me the best team in the American League?
The Orioles are in that. Yes, the driver's seat for that.
If it was them and the Phillies in a series, in the World Series, you still like the Phillies?
I do right now because I think the Phillies have the depth in pitching. You got Corbin Burns.
Yeah.
What are you getting out of that? You look at the Phillies, still right now, 3 of the top 5 earned run averages in baseball in the pitching staff.
Yeah. Yeah. And God, they mash too. Their lineup's so good. Brahm and Schwarber and Harper. Turner. Yeah, they're really good. And then there's the Cleveland Indians. I'm sorry, the Cleveland Guardians. I'm sorry. That was
Guardians.
It's almost like I cussed. You know what I mean?
I know, like, oh, where's the dump button? Oh. The Washington, what now?
Yeah, the Expos. Oh no, you said Expos. Yeah. All right. 505-246-0610. Wrap it up when we get back. And everything you need to know as you go through your Tuesday on the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal. This is.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Cross-Camara here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Adventure is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
You make my heart better. Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you. I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Evergard Roofing and Solar. For nearly 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been working with New Mexicans to enhance their homes and businesses. For all your roofing and solar needs in New Mexico, call 505-821-9543.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman!
Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Boom! Boom!
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.com.
What you got to know as you go through your Tuesday, USA beat Germany 92-88. Final tune-up for the men's Olympic team, basketball. Before the Olympics, the opening ceremonies are Friday on the river in Paris. LeBron James scored the final 11 points for Team USA. ACC is going to fight to keep their league together no matter what that takes. That was Jim Phillips at the ACC Media Day. The Jets' Hassan Reddick is skipping camp, at least for now. He wants a new deal, so he did not go to camp. NFL Players Association have been in talks with the league about an 18-game schedule. Currently, they play 17. And those conversations have been at, quote, a very, very, very high level, which means it's probably going to happen sometime in the very, very, very near future. That's what people are going to be talking about as you go through your day. 505-246-0610. Email Jeff at sportsanimallabq.com and JJ at sportsanimallabq.com. Bourne's got a life hack for you, JJ, on hot dogs. Just stop by Costco on the way to the gym. Buy a large dog and a soda for $1.50 and save the moolah. Those Hebrew Nationals, they still serve those over at Costco? Back when I was doing that was pretty good. The food court at Costco is always packed.
Yeah, it's one of the things you just look at and go, oh, I can get that for $1.50. I'm in.
Can't recall the last time I ate there. The lines were always so long. Like, dude, I just got
Smoothie's good.
What is it? Smoothie's good? It's just the line's so long. I got my stuff. I just want to go out and go. Let me fight and get out of here. Richard says, looks like Chris Bryant may be back in Denver tonight, Jeff, after being the lone bright spot over the weekend for Albuquerque's baseball team. There you go. I forgot Chris Bryant's even on that organization. I do. Like, honestly, I watch the Rockies. I see all these young guys that came up through Albuquerque. I forget. It never even crosses my mind that Chris Bryant's in this organization.
Get in line.
Remember when they signed him? Remember that summer, that free agent deal? And you were not on it. You were like, what are we doing?
Yeah,
Like,
it made 0 sense.
you paid that guy so much money. And I remember you were not into it.
It was that that was a signing for a team that would be competing for something at that point in time. You bring in a veteran, Chris Bryant, not just be like, look, we moved on from Nolan Arenado, but at least we got Chris Bryant. The whole point you moved on from Nolan Arenado is because you're trying to retool.
This is on the text line. It's Steve from Michigan. We got people in Michigan already listening. I mean, I knew we'd have some people in Michigan, starting in the fall, but I mean, already Steve's in Michigan. Glad both of you are back together. Wasn't that long that you were together on the air together, but seemed a while. You don't put ketchup on a hot dog, LOL. Yeah, you kind of do. Yeah, you do. I'm not going to run for. I listen to this argument. More wasted airtime telling people how to eat food. I put if I go to a ballpark and had a hot dog, if I go somewhere, I would put ketchup, mustard, and relish on, and I call it good.
I'm with you. Eat what you want to eat.
That's right. How you want to eat it.
There's only one thing we disagree on.
Yeah, candy corn's nasty.
Jolly Ranchers.
They're really good. Yeah, you're gonna come around one day before it's all said and done.
Use them as a weapon in a slingshot. But
that is the only thing we disagree. Well, I mean, we don't eat the same way necessarily, but I'm not.
Like hot food takes make no sense to me.
Well, people get so
there's things that I just don't like. They don't taste good to me.
Right.
So what?
People
why would
get
I be upset
so
if you don't like it?
Adamant in their opinion. You cannot eat that way. You cannot put ketchup.
I
on
like
hot
pineapple on my pizza because it tastes good.
You know what? My mom the other day. Why would people put pineapple on a pizza? I'm like, actually, it's pretty good.
Ever put pineapple on a pizza then dipped it in green chili ranch? It's amazing.
That is kind of amazing. And it's kind of got to be the Dion's green chili ranch, right? Is there another green chili ranch dressing? Does anybody else do that?
There's some pretty good ones around town because I think once that started to become a thing, everyone had to get in the game.
Dion's, I got a buddy in Vegas, and Vegas has so much great food. About twice a year, hey dude, can you send me a few bottles? And I ice them and I send them, or if I'm going to Vegas, I bring him bottles of Dion's Ranch. Like how he found, well, I know how he found it. He was married to a woman from Albuquerque, and so just the Dion's Ranch dressing. But yeah, man, what eat how you want to eat. But my mom hit me with the pineapple pizza. I'm like, you know what? It's not my go-to, but I kind of when there's pizza out, like so there's that green chili, pepperoni, and then there's a sausage, and then there's the Canadian bacon and pineapple. I take a slice of the green chili sausage with the green chili pepperoni and the Canadian bacon pineapple. I do kind of like it, and I'm not going to apologize for it.
No.
Is there anything else like you eat that your way that other people wouldn't? You know what I mean? Like, wow. I used to always, after a meal, back when, the pounds didn't stick as much. I remember when I was at Channel 7, I would always have a sandwich on my way into work. And then I always loved eating like M&Ms and chewing ice at the same time. Like just that, I don't know why, that hard chocolate.
It's the concept of putting chocolate in the fridge.
Yeah.
Freezer.
So, and frozen Reese's are the thing to me. I mean, I do like the frozen chocolate thing. Now that my kid's working at an ice cream shop, by the way.
What?
So she's working at an ice cream shop and working at one of those coffee places.
What?
And working at a gym.
That's the life.
So she's doing the triple.
Lines up with all the things I'm into.
So they had the new coffee place. They just opened up and they had swag day the other day. So if you went and bought a large, you got a T-shirt. And I'm not. So do you do all the sweet coffee drinks, like the milk-based coffee drinks?
I actually keep it pretty simple. Even at Starbucks, just a nitro cold brew.
That's what you do?
Some sweet cream in it.
I get a coffee. They look at me like, what? I'm like, yeah, I don't even speak your language. Can I just get a medium coffee? A grande? Whatever, man. The middle size. Can you throw a splash of cream in there? And they look at me like, you don't want some Frappuccino, poofy, 3-pump caramel? No, man. So we drove through there and she's like, Dad, I think you'd like this sweet and salty. But because she brought me home one. It was like so sweet. I couldn't put it down. So she's like, I think you want a quarter sweet, sweet and salty. Like, okay. And it was like a milkshake. But these places are everywhere between Dutch Bros and Seven Brew and what's the one that sponsors the Frisco Bowl? Scooters. Yeah, they're everywhere. Thanks to Spencer Danielson, Boise State coach. You can listen to that over on our website, sportsanimalaBQ.com. Is there a way to put up the other ones that we already ran, Nate Dreiling and Gloria Navarez too? I know Bob wasn't able to put those up the other day. Jim Rome Show is next. The Herd with Colin Cowards after that. 2 Men On is here at 4, and then you get the Isotopes and the Round Rock Express. Dollar Dog Night out at the yard. Enjoy that, boys and girls. See how you're feeling in the morning. Adrian, great work. Looks good on the visuals. Big day for you?
Huge day.
Enjoy it. He's JJ Buck. I'm Jeff Zimbieta. Thanks for being with us. Be good to each other, please. Be kind, loving, caring, and sharing. We'll smell you tomorrow.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Sweet Rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Everguard Roofing and Solar. For nearly 20 years, Everguard Roofing and Solar has been working with New Mexicans to enhance their homes and businesses. For all your roofing and solar needs in New Mexico, call 505-821-9543.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.